Number 1, Alex is a mechanic earning 90 pesos per day. If he was required to work during a special holiday, how much should he receive for that day? To find out the answer, we're going to use the formula of special holiday rate, which is 130% times the basic pay. As you can see on the screen, we convert the 130% into a decimal number, which is 1.3 times the basic pay of 90. Right now, we multiply the special holiday rate of 1.3 times the basic pay of 90 is equals to 117 pesos, the total wages that Alex can receive on that day. Number 2, Alice is an accountant earning a basic pay of 100 pesos per day. If she required to render 4 hours overtime during a regular holiday, how much salary should be her salary? In computing the problem, first we must divide the daily rate of 100 by 8 hours to get the rate per hour. So the hourly rate is 12.5. And now we're going to find out how much overtime that Alice can get. As the guidelines stated, the rate of overtime in a regular day is 125%, and we are convert it to decimal number of 1.25. In getting the overtime, now we multiply the 4, which is the overtime hour, to a regular day rate of 1.25 times to the hourly rate of 12.50. So the answer is 62.50 pesos, the overtime pay that Alice can get for 4 hours. In order to find out the total wages of Alice in that day, we just simply add the basic pay to overtime pay 100 plus 62.50, which is 162.50, the total amount of wages that Alice will receive. Number 3, how much would Alice receive if she worked for the same number of hours during a regular holiday? First, we are going to get the overtime pay of Alice. The formula that we are going to use for overtime in a regular holiday is 130%, and we convert it into decimal number of 1.30. In dividing the day rate to 8 hours, the per hourly rate is 12.50. And now we're going to multiply the overtime, which 4 hour, to 12.50, the hourly rate, times 1.30, the overtime pay in a regular holiday, which Alice can receive, the total amount of overtime worth 65 pesos. In getting the total wages of basic pay, which 100, we multiply it into a regular holiday rate of 200%, convertible to 2.00. The amount will be 200. And now, we compute the total amount of wages that Alice will receive by adding 200 to overtime pay of 65 pesos, and the result is 265 pesos that Alice can get on that day. Number 4, Donato is a poor man earning 125 pesos per day. How much should he receive if he is required to work during a regular holiday? Okay, to determine the total wages that can Donato receive, we just use the guidelines of regular holiday rate, which is 200%, convertible to 2.00. And we multiply to the basic pay of Donato's worth 125 pesos per day, so that the amount of wages is 250 pesos. Number 5, how much should Donato receive if he works during a special holiday? And now, in getting the total wages for Donato, we are going to use the formula of a special holiday rate of 130%, convertible into decimal number of 1.30. And now we only multiply the basic pay of 125 to special holiday rate of 1.30. So the total amount of wages is 162.50 that Donato received. Number 6, Mrs. Santos is an employee earning 112 per day. If she was required to work for 11 hours on June 12, how much should be her take-home pay for that day? First, we will get the total amount of overtime from 11 hours, which is 3, times the special holiday rate of 130% convertible to decimal number of 1.30 times the hourly rate of 14 pesos, and the total amount of overtime pay is 54.6. Next steps is getting the total wages. We just multiply the hourly rate of 14 times regular holiday rates of 200% convertible to decimal numbers of 2.00 times 8 hours is equals to 224. For the final step, we're going to add 224 to 54.6. So the total amount of wages that Mrs. Santos will receive is 278.6. Number 7, Teresita works in a corporation and earned 240 pesos per day. If she works for 10 hours during regular holiday, how much is her take-home pay? We are going to multiply the basic pay of 240 times the regular holiday rate of 200% convertible to decimal number of 2.00. The total amount of basic pay is 480. In getting the overtime, we need to divide the 240 to 8 hours to determine the hourly rate, which is 30 pesos per hour. And now, we multiply the overtime, which is 2 hours times 30 pesos per hour, and times the regular holiday rate, which is 130% convertible to 1.30 is equals to 78, the total amount of overtime. And now we are adding the basic pay plus the overtime. So 480 plus 78 is equals to 558. Number 8, Christina is an employee earning 250 per day. If she works overtime for 3 hours during a regular holiday, how much is her take-home pay for that day? First, we divide 250 to 8 hours to determine the hourly rate, which is 31.25 times 3 hours of overtime times ordinary day rate of 125% convertible to decimal number of 1.25 is equals to 117.18 or 117.19. And now, we simply add the basic pay day of 250 plus 117.19 is equals to 367.19, the total take-home pay of Christina that day. Number 9, how much would a worker earning 200 receive if he is required to work during a special holiday for 8 hours? All we have to do is multiply the basic pay, which is 200 pesos, times the special holiday rate, which is 130% convertible to decimal number of 1.30 is equals to 260 pesos. Number 10, Annie is an assistant manager assigned in a nuclear power plant facility where radiation poses eminent danger to one's health. Her company is paying her a salary of 80,000 pesos per month exclusive of a hazard pay. How much is her effective salary rate per month? All we have to do is multiply the base pay times the hazard pay rate, which is 80,000 times the hazard pay of 120% convertible to decimal number 1.2. So the answer is 96,000 pesos. So the rate per month of Annie is 96,000 pesos.